Hey, back at you with another one of these. Already, I was gonna wait, really gonna wait until I found something juicy, but fuck it. Second day of doing these, and I have, So here we go with some dumb motherfuckers who don't understand why people don't like the current three tank meta. And the title of this is called "Please explain to me why this three tank is upsetting. It's so upsetting. He wants to know why the three tank meta is upsetting. Fuck it. I'll tell you. And if you don't have to listen to this video, I'm bored right now and I want to have some fun. So, let me go ahead and tell you. So, besides the icons, the names will be blotched off. For, I guess, security purposes. To keep them anonymous. All you see was their icons. Because everyone uses the same icons anyway, you can't really distinguish who the person is. Okay, let's read. -8 downvotes. It's gonna be funny. First of all, I am willing to bet that 90% of you are not professionals. Definitely not me. I am far from it. So with that being said, why does it matter? This meta exists, has very little impact on you. Oh, yes it does. The meta is what holds together the competitive gaming, dude. It's what holds together that entire point. So people are gonna adopt it anyway because they want to get their ranking up because they want to win. So yes, it is going to impact you if you play it. So saying that it has very little impact on you, that makes no sense. That's clearly a lie for damage control. And even if you see it in your games, you will. What's the big deal? I'll get into that for a bit. So people choose tanks. Good on them. They make it work. That's because they're copying another meta that they've seen. That's the whole point of a meta, or at least the whole point of what people think a meta is. It's adopting a strategy that you've seen before because someone else tried it and it worked for them. Basically, what meta is it's replicating someone else's playstyle to make it work for you. How does that not impact people if they play it? Because, first of all, even if you don't understand the meta, even if you don't care about the meta, playing against three tanks is annoying. Playing against one tank is okay because your team is supposed to compensate for that tank. That's how the team is supposed to work. That's the whole point of the little extra bit thingies on the side that tell you, how your team is going, how to build your team if you have too many of one thing. Okay, you got Hanzo and Widowmaker. You got too many snipers. Okay, so let's say you pick Zyra and Roadhog. Okay, that the game's gonna tell you there's too many tanks on the team. And those are just recommendations, I mean, do whatever you want. I mean, obviously, for example, no limit. You're encouraged to do something like that because there's no hero limit. You want to run a team full of divas? Cool, do that. Run a team full of Annas? Cool, do that. Run a team full of Bastions? Cool, do that. That's the whole point of the wrong. But people are sitting here trying to play competitive. And they keep seeing the same fucking meta over and over again. Oh shit, here comes another team with three tanks. And no one likes playing against three tanks. It can be annoying. Because you got to compensate for three characters who have health over 500. So, again, back to what he was saying. Okay, so he asked, how does it impact you? You can't win the game? Then maybe you should change your competitive. Basically, buy into the meta. That's basically. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that right now out there right now. This entire thread is just basically saying maybe you should try the meta if you don't like the meta. So basically, this has no argument at all. It's basically saying you don't like it, well then try it for yourself. You might as well just tell people don't play, or hell, do your own three tank to counter. Again, that's what you basically just said. You said change your competitive, so I kind of assumed that you're talking about just change to the meta. If you don't like the meta, just change the meta if you're tired of losing against it. That's people. That's what I said in the comment here. People shouldn't have to be forced to compensate because people are acting crazy. People want to be sorry and just adopt someone else's meta instead of making their own strategy. That's just how it is in games like this. It's complacency. And you ask, why can't you do that? Because people don't want to. That's why. People shouldn't have to be forced to play a certain way just because people are playing stupid. Like, I shouldn't have to be forced to play a meta because I don't want to play a meta because the other team's playing a meta, and for some reason the game wants me to force to compensate for that because, we're trying to build us a great team. We can build a perfect team full of every single class, and you can just get outright wiped out because people are using 3 tanks because this meta bullshit. And he goes on to say, I played in a few 3 tanks and played against a few. Yes, it is effective. No shit, Sherlock. That's why it's the meta. You don't have to say that it's effective. That's the whole reason for a meta, dude. We're far from unmanageable. But that brings me to my original point. What does it matter? Well, like I said, people don't want to see the same gameplay. You play how you want to play. Sure, we'll go do that somewhere else. The matter of fact here is that people are tired of seeing it because there's too much complacency, because they see these pros do it, they see these Major League Gaming pros do it in their streams and shit like that, and they say, oh, that works, here, let me get an easy win. It's, for one thing, it's completely lacks of sportsmanship because you don't have anything, you're just copying another style. Like, you don't get props if you copy someone else's style. Like, that doesn't make you a gamer. A good gamer is learning how to compensate for something. It's learning how to, adapt to something. Like, just copying someone else's style that works, yeah, it works, you're right. But to have the opponents having to overcompensate for something, being forced to compensate for something they don't want to do, that's just weird. It makes no sense. I honestly think people's gripes with it is that they don't feel effective with their favorite character. That's not the fucking point. I mean, my favorite character is Junkrat and Roadhog. I see them all the time in competitive. That has nothing to do with anything. I mean, I can compensate for a team. I don't want to be forced to compensate for a team. I want to compensate for a team that I feel like, yeah, sure, I'll be a healer if no one wants to be a healer. Yeah, sure, I'll be support if no one wants to be support. Fuck it. I'll be someone like, Bastion or Torbjorn if he needs a turret somewhere. But this 3 tank meta shit is making people overcompensate for what cannot just be done. And he goes on to say, or they don't like the tank. I don't have a problem with any of the characters in the game, besides Hanzo and Genji, because I just don't like the characters. I don't like playing as those characters. I don't know why, I just cannot play as those characters, so I don't touch them. That's so, for example, again, this is just me, but I have no problem with going with tank. Again, my second most played character is Roadhog. But that's not the fault of this so-called meta. There isn't a so-called meta. There is a meta, dude. Like, there honestly is a meta. And obviously you play into the meta, so you don't see a problem with it. I mean, that's just the thing. And here's a comment from someone down here. Again, their name's gonna be anonymous, but at the same time, this is exactly what I said. This is exactly why I say this. This is exactly what I meant to say in my comment, but I didn't because he already said it for me. 3 tank is just monstrously effective, which makes it the meta. That's what I just said. It makes it the meta because it's effective. That's the whole point of this whole game theory thing. Logic should dictate if something works, you're going to keep doing it because it works. It's effective. That's what causes the meta in a video game. League has this. Dota has this. All sorts of games that run by this team-based, MOBA-like, thing in terms of, online play or online competitive. They have a meta. Like certain weapons being used, certain characters being used, certain buffs being used. That's what adopts a meta. People use it a lot. So it's effective. And he goes on to say, and it's very boring to see 3 times tanks in every game as a result. That's exactly what I said. And this is another thing I said regarding last season. It's as obnoxious as Genji Watch. Remember last season where everyone was just seeing Genji everywhere? Everyone was playing Genji. Why? Because he was an effective character. He became a meta of his own. That's the whole thing about a meta. So I'm sitting here thinking, you keep saying, this guy up here, the guy who made the post, said that this is so-called meta. There is no so-called meta. There is a meta, dude. Don't try to brush it off when there already is something. You can't just ignore it. It's here. Okay. He goes on to say, of course, if you somehow break the tank meta's effectiveness, you're going to have to nerf 76 and McCree, because 3 tank only evolved because those 2 characters were putting out damage. And that makes total sense. Because he said in Season 1, there was a lot of McCrees, and in Season 2, there was a lot of Genjis. So now, in this 3rd season, we see a lot of Soldier 76 getting some love. And back to McCree. McCree, because those 2 characters are what, they're great. To me, they're the best offense characters for tanks. Not counting Zyra, or not Zyra, not counting Pharah, who overall is okay with tanks, but she can't dish out a lot of damage at one time. She's dependent on a crowd. But Soldier 76 and McCree, I play with these characters. They're excellent against tanks. And especially 76, because 76 has a large fire rate, and overall he's just a very good assault character. He's a very good character to just destroy the meta, which is the reason why people adopted a new meta. 3 tanks. The meta changes according to a lot of things. According to a lot of things. Okay, maybe we have a time for one last little comment, and I'm gonna reply to this. 4 down votes, obviously, and the last part of his comment says "in before down votes." So obviously he was saying something stupid that he knew he was gonna get downvoted for, because this community needs something to whine about at all times. He's got a point about that. Okay, people do whine a lot about everything in the game. Remember Roadhog? People are still whining about him. A week after the game came out, it was McCree. Then it was Genji for 4 months. That's only because they were a problem. See, I was with you in the first part when you said people whine a lot, but that's only because they are a problem. Dude, like how long have you been playing video games? Or how long have you been playing games like this? Dude, League has this in spades. I used to play League back in the day. Every single character that came out, every single fucking character, like a week later, people would be complaining they need to be nerfed. I mean, how long have you been playing this game, with games in general? This is just, it's standard. It is standard to see people complain about characters. I knew it was going to be one of them. Somebody. I mean, I love McCree, but I knew it was going to be him, and I'm okay with Genji. I mean, but that's beside the point. Blah, 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 whatever. Like I've seen people at Gold or Bronze Elo complain about the tank meta on these forums. I don't think so. I don't know where I sit in this, but I'm not even complaining about the tank meta. I'm complaining about the tank meta only because it's boring, not because I can't do it. I mean, obviously, I do know how to counter it. It's just boring to see. That's my main problem with it. I mean, it's the same thing with the Genji meta. I mean, it was once you found a counter, that's it. Like, Genji can't do shit, and people stop playing him. It's just not exciting, and that's what half the comments here for. And I'm glad people are trying to say it's just fucking boring and drawn out. It's just washed up. It's nothing interesting is going on. And somebody brought up that there was a recent like Major League Gaming event at Vegas, and here's the comment right here. He says something at the top, but he says it's a huge advantage, but edit. It's also very boring to watch. Go watch MLG Vegas first round at Dorado. There were no kills to the first point of capture because people were using the same characters, and like everybody knows that there's always a 50-50 chance of things just happening and becoming a stalemate. It's like war of attrition. That's basically what it is. You have the same amount of supplies, you have the same amount of everything, you got the same amount of armament. It's just war of attrition. It's just a fight that will never end because everyone's at equal ground. That's what it felt like. And I did kind of watch that Vegas thing because, I am getting into Overwatch competitive. The whole esport thing, not actual competitive. It's just like, okay, it's entertaining to watch people on YouTube. Then we can watch the pros. Nope, boring. Fucking boring. It is boring as shit to watch these guys play. And with this 3-tank meta, it's even more boring because people are using the same fucking characters. And the simple fact that it's just boring to see these same characters do the same things. It's the same thing in the FGC, the fighting game community. People don't want to see the same characters in like these pro matches go at it, because it's like we know what these two characters are gonna do. Like, somebody pick another character, please. And that's the thing. Again, it's the same thing with that's what I tell people on the forums. It's the same thing in the fighting game meta. People use the same characters. It's gonna be fucking boring because no one wants to watch the same fucking characters fight each other. No one wants to watch mirror fights. Okay. And that's the problem with the meta. At least my problem with the 3-tank meta. It's just so boring to watch, and people are seeing it all the time. People don't want to play the same games over and over again.